Are the offensive issues as simple as just getting into a rhythm, Jose?
It's going to be hard to get in any rhythm with Trent Williams out, right? It's very tough to envision how you can sustain any type of offensive stability and efficiency going forward. Look, it was already tough enough with Jimmy. We saw what he was, how he was. It's kind of glad that everyone's starting to see, like, yeah, this is the same guy we've been seeing, you know? So anyone, especially the Niners players who thought they were in better win now mode are looking ridiculous now. But in terms of rhythm, I think the only person who you really can look at in terms of it can get higher from here is Jimmy, because, you know, I've always thought he was an in rhythm passer, even dating back to when I first started covering the team in 2019. Is like the guy honestly is like a jump shooter. You know, he sinks the first 2 to 4 shots, and all of a sudden you get a little something here. Not saying he's gonna light it up. It's just he's more serviceable and will have like moments where it's like, okay, that was pretty damn sweet. But now it's like, can you even get into that mode when you don't have a Trent Williams? You have a Mike McGlinchey who's very, very average at best in pass pro. And you have Kyle Shanahan, who kind of seems like he's stuck at calling plays. I mean, I know, again, Jimmy left a lot to be had on the table in that game, but I don't want to, like, you know, discredit or what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to leave out Kyle Shanahan in terms of blame in that loss either, because he didn't do Jimmy as many favors either. So I don't think it's a simple getting the rhythm. They're gonna have to find some sort of magical wand here to actually put this offense back on track.
Yeah, I mean, the rhythm is a convenient excuse, and I think it's legit, right? But it's never one thing in football. Yeah, they need to get in the rhythm. They're on their second quarterback. They're on their second running back. They have a lot of injuries already. And yes, Jimmy can get better. He's not in football shape. He can get better. He'll never be good enough, but he can get better. That being said, like, the offensive issues, they seem like it's way bigger than just rhythm. It seems like for example, we're talking a lot about Mike McDaniel. We're going to talk about him later. He's not here anymore. He's been with Kyle every step of the way for like 15 years minus 1 year. And right now I'm looking at an offense that lacks creativity for the first time since Kyle Shanahan's been here. Honestly, the offense looks stodgy and lame and stale, like the same stuff as last year. Where is like the creativity? Because every time they play the Rams, they seem to beat the Rams with creativity. They just are smarter than the Rams. They outsmart the Rams, except for the last time they played them in the NFC Championship game. Are they going to outsmart the Rams this week? We're going to talk about this stuff, but these are questions I have. Like, is the offense going to be good enough without Mike McDaniel? I don't know. They replaced him. Like, really, last year, the offense was struggling. He was the run game coordinator. He was the offensive coordinator too, but he was a run game coordinator. And his idea was to bring in Debo to running back. I'm thinking, because he was a run game coordinator. Where's the next idea coming from? Because now it has to happen today in the meetings. Well, it should have happened already. They're finishing up the game plan. It has to have happened already the last few days. I'm curious. Creativity.
Yeah, because you're seeing Debo get the ball handed to him, and it's like
it's not working.
You don't feel that home run shot. But I mean, look, we already thought about it before, even when we were debating, is Debo going to be just a wide receiver? Is he going to get used as running back? And I think you said it first, and I was in total agreement. It's like, hey, like the standard that Debo set from last year, people got to get that out of their heads. That's not going to be the same. Maybe it'll be kind of close, especially in some moments, but we can't underrate like how great of a season he had, and literally just took the team on his back. I mean, which now that you take away that surprise element, that huge like secret weapon they had, and that's exposed.
Yeah.
Now you're seeing the same offense we saw last year. So where's going to be the rabbit out of the hat here? That's what I'm saying. They need that magic wand to figure it out. And once again, now you're going to need Kyle to be perfect. So 2019 style, do something. And it doesn't help when you're limiting your offense by putting George Kittle in the backfield multiple times. And I know some of that's because, you know, what the hell else is he supposed to do? Half the time doesn't have time. While the other half is kind of his fault, but it's really now he has 100 variables he has to figure out and try to convert a good portion of that into some constants, because right now it's not looking like it's going to be figured out because of that same point you mentioned with Mike McDaniel being gone.
Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say, but yeah, no, this to me is a big issue. It's year 6, and people. Okay, so here's what I was going to say. People are being like, even my dad, I love my dad, but he's like, look, the Niners are slow starters. You can't overreact. I think you can't say that this year. This is year 6. The offense is getting worse, and it's not just a first 3 games of the year thing. This went back to the playoffs, and it went back to the end of the season. Ever since they went to Tennessee and laid an egg, their offense has been bad. And it's like the Debo running back thing isn't working nearly as well anymore. Teams figured out that was the Niners' key to winning. It wasn't. I mean, you got to be prepared for that first and foremost. That's how they win games. And like down the stretch, they had little wrinkles off of that to win, like the Debo touchdown pass. You know, they realized it wasn't quite working anymore. They had to go to some screens and stuff. But I think teams figured out if you want to beat the Niners, you got to be prepared for running Debo in the backfield. And now, when Debo's back there, I mean, God, he gets lit up. Teams are ready for that stuff. So what's the next move if that's not going to work? It's not as simple as a rhythm. You know, it's just a 9-game slump that goes back to last season. It's not a slow start. This is basically the league catching up to the Niners. Basically, defense is being like, okay, we know what you're doing. And now this is Kyle's chance to be like, okay, now I'm doing the next thing, which is what he's always been able to do. Stay one step ahead. He's not one step ahead right now. McDaniel is down in Miami. So this is it. It's not about rhythm. It's about creativity, in my opinion. And this is the moment for Kyle to show it. Maybe he was waiting until November, but it's October. It's going to be October, and he's got to do it. He's got to do it now.
Yeah, he needs to wake up. One of the questions I was going to try to pose to you before we came on was how much blame does Kyle take for that loss? Because everyone's like hampering on Jimmy, and I, for one, I'm part of it. But again, back to last week, you know, Jimmy's not going to take all the blame because how much is he getting paid? Was he supposed to be the starter? No.
Yeah.
You brought him back, Kyle, for a reason.
Yeah.
And you didn't put him in enough positions to be successful. And I was wondering if the play calling just felt stale to me. It just felt stale. So is Mike Daniel gone? I mean, is that much of a crust to you?
Well, when people support Kyle and defend him, they'll bring up his plays from the All-22 and be like, see, he was open. He was open.
Lack of execution, all that.
Yeah, like if he were the offensive coordinator, you'd be like, hey, he's doing his job. But as the head coach, I mean, your job, execution is a function of preparation. Your job is to prepare them to throughout the week to do things they can do. If you call a bunch of stuff that they're not prepared to execute, that's on you as a head coach. Like, everything is on you. Oh, you wanted Jimmy Garoppolo? You thought that would be a nice backup? Well, that's on you. You could have had anyone else. You know, you could have had Tom Brady. Ultimately, the fact that he said no to Tom Brady, if he had any other name, he would have been fired for that. That's a fireable offense. But they keep giving him chances and chances and chances with other quarterbacks. And this is he made his bed, as it were. So I don't want to hear about rhythm anymore. This is a 9-game streak of bad offense. End the streak, or else Jed and all of us are going to be looking at Mike McDaniel down in Miami as like, oof, he was the genius. Kyle being rebranded as a defensive guru. That's hilarious. Yeah, he's a defensive coach. We didn't know it, but he's just a defensive coach.